Welcome back to the deep dive. So, you brought in a monster source stack for us this time.
I really did.
A wide-ranging, really lengthy interview with one of the most talked about entrepreneurs of our time.
It is. And it's less of an interview and more like a comprehensive worldview.
It really feels that way. It touches on everything from orbital mechanics to consciousness itself.
Exactly. So our mission today, especially for you, the aspiring entrepreneur, the curious mind, is to really filter this down.
To get to the core insights.
Right. We're focusing on three huge areas. First, the philosophy behind X, the platform. Second, this looming future of AI and robotics that might just make mandatory work obsolete.
Which is a huge claim.
A huge claim. And third, these fundamental shifts in economics, how we even measure human value and what currency really is.
Before we jump into all that, I have to mention this physical detail the interviewer pointed out right at the start.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting.
They noted the subject is, and I'm quoting here, a lot bigger and bulkier muscular than you'd think from just seeing him on screen.
It's a small thing, but it's kind of humanizing, isn't it?
It totally is. It grounds you before you start talking about, ending human labor and colonizing Mars.
Agreed. It reminds you there's a person behind these cosmic ambitions. Okay, so let's unpack X, the digital town square.
Right.
To get the philosophy, you really have to start with the scale. The source is laid out pretty clearly.
What are we talking about, numbers-wise?
We're talking about 250 to 300 million active users every week, roughly 600 million a month.
And it spikes during big events, right?
Oh, massively. During major global events, it can shoot up to, 800 million, maybe even close to 1 billion monthly users.
And what's kind of counterintuitive, especially with how much the internet is all about video now, is where the platform's strength still lies.
It's true. The source really emphasizes that X is strongest among readers, writers, and thinkers.
Because text is just denser information.
Exactly. The idea is that text is higher value or more densely compressed information. You can move big, complex ideas way faster through text than almost any other medium.
That's not the future.
No, that's changing fast. The prediction is that most internet interaction is going to become real-time video, but specifically real-time video with AI.
Okay, tell me more about the with AI part. Why is that component so necessary?
It's all about scale and efficiency. The sheer amount of computing power you'd need to generate, understand, and then distribute real-time video on a global scale. It's just beyond what we can manage human to human.
So the AI is like a co-pilot for the data stream.
A co-pilot, a translator, a curator, all of it. It's going to become the main thing that generates bits and takes up compute load on the internet simply because human intelligence can't keep up otherwise.
And this is where the vision for X really diverges from other platforms, isn't it?
Fundamentally, the stated goal is not to optimize for the, quote, most dopamine-generating video stream.
Which the source calls brain rot.
Unflinchingly, yeah. Instead, the whole point is to build a global town square. The ultimate goal is for it to function as a collective consciousness for humanity.
So they're actively trying to make it less about just grabbing your attention and more about, collective thought.
Yes. And the automatic translation feature is a perfect example.
Right, to bridge those language gaps.
Exactly. So an idea from any corner of the globe can feed instantly into the shared consciousness. It's about breaking down barriers to information flow.
Okay, so we have to address the political context here, which the source goes into. And this is a point where we need to be, completely impartial.
Absolutely. We're just reporting what's in the source material.
So the stated reason for buying Twitter in the first place was this belief that the platform had a negative influence.
Right. By amplifying an ideology described in the source as pretty far left, while at the same time suspending or suppressing voices on the right.
So the mission now, as they stated, is to make X balanced and centrist.
To adhere strictly to the laws in each country, but to consciously try not to put an ideological thumb on the scale.
It's a massive ambition, managing a truly open information system.
Yeah.
And that ambition, I think, brings us to the deeper question.
Why does scaling consciousness matter so much?
Yeah. And the source makes this surprising connection to, of all things, Douglas Adams.
It's a great pivot. The conclusion on the meaning of life is that the hard part isn't the answer. It's framing the right question.
Like in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? The answer is 42, but nobody knows the actual question.
That's the idea. The better our information flow, the more we expand the scope and scale of consciousness, the more likely we are to figure out what questions we should even be asking about the universe.
And to explain why that scaling is so valuable,
Yeah.
the source uses this really powerful biological analogy.
The cellular collective, it's a great one.
A human starts as one cell but becomes, what, 30 or 40 trillion?
And that collection creates a qualitative difference. I mean, you can watch bacteria forever. They can't talk. They can't build a spaceship.
And that just scales up to us. One person in one lifetime can't possibly learn everything needed to, say, build a Falcon rocket.
Not a chance. It requires a collection of humans and, crucially, a really high quality of information flow between them.
And this is the bridge. The better that collective interaction is, the more the human collective will achieve.
And this superior information flow plus exponential tech, that's what's driving the next massive prediction, what the source calls the supersonic tsunami.
That's a dramatic phrase.
And the prediction is just as dramatic, that mandatory work will be optional in less than 20 years, maybe even 10 to 15.
All because of AI and robotics.
It's basically the singularity for the job market. The implication is this massive deflation in the cost of pretty much everything because robots and AI will handle production and logistics.
Okay, let's pause on that. This leads to the idea of universal high income,
Right.
which is very different from universal basic income, which sounds more like just subsistence.
It's a key distinction. If AI creates this incredible abundance and goods and services become nearly free, UHI is almost the natural outcome. The value of human labor just approaches zero.
So work becomes a hobby.
Exactly. Something you choose to do, like, growing your own vegetables. The financial need is gone.
But the social consequence of that is profound. If you take away the structure and the necessity of work, what happens to human purpose?
That's the real challenge, isn't it? It's a philosophical problem as much as an economic one for future societies.
So for the builders listening right now, the entrepreneurs, what's the advice for navigating this?
The advice is actually incredibly focused, very practical. It's make useful products and services, aim to be a net contributor.
Make more than you take.
That's the core of it. The source argues that if you create real utility, the money it follows naturally.
So for long-term investing, you ignore the day-to-day noise and you focus on great products, a strong roadmap, and a talented team.
It's the enduring formula. And we also see this excitement around what the source calls technology convergence.
The overlap between SpaceX, Tesla, and XAI.
Yeah, the idea that the ultimate future requires, and this is a quote, solar-powered AI satellites in deep space. You can't get there with just one company or one discipline.
Let's talk about the specific products that are driving this. The source calls Tesla the world leader in real-world AI.
Because of the self-driving progress, yeah.
Hmm.
And then you have the Optimus robot,
which is aimed for scaled production next year.
as soon as next year, designed to be this general-purpose personal helper. That's the robot that enables that 10 to 15-year post-work timeline.
And Starlink, we hear about it all the time, but the source gives a really specific and kind of counterintuitive detail about where it works best.
This is a crucial clarification. Starlink provides low-latency internet from satellites in low Earth orbit, about 550 kilometers up. They use laser links between the satellites for robustness.
But it's not meant to replace fiber in cities.
No, it's fundamentally complementary to ground systems. It's not a replacement.
Why is that?
It's just physics. The satellite beam from that far away is just too broad to efficiently serve a dense city. You can't get the bandwidth density, so it's designed for rural, underserved areas where laying fiber is just too expensive or difficult.
That's key to its business model. Okay, if AI and robotics are going to unleash all this productivity, let's connect it back to maybe the biggest economic problem right now, the U.S. debt.
Which is staggering. The source notes that the interest payments on the debt now cost more than the entire U.S. military budget.
The problem is almost, you can't even fathom it.
Right. And the only solution offered is this dramatic productivity spike from AI, which paradoxically will lead to significant deflation.
Deflation meaning the output of goods and services grows faster than the money supply.
And the source gives a timeline. The prediction is that goods and services growth will start to exceed money supply growth in about 3 years. Maybe less.
Wow. If that happens, the economic rules they completely change.
They do. Because if AI satisfies all our needs, then the traditional role of money, which the source just defines as an information system for labor allocation, it kind of withers away.
Long-term, money just disappears as a concept.
So if money is temporary, what's the true currency?
Energy.
Energy. You can't legislate it away. It's a fundamental constant. And the way to measure civilizational progress in this view is the Kardashev scale.
For listeners who maybe haven't heard of that, can you just quickly explain it?
Sure, it's a way to measure a civilization's technological level based on how much energy it can use. A Type 1 civilization has mastered its planet's energy, Type 2, its home star, and so on. The true measure of our achievement is how much energy we harness.
That is a cosmic lens.
Yeah.
Okay, moving from economics to metaphysics. The interview gets deep into the simulation hypothesis.
It really does. The argument is that the rapid advancement of video games, from Pong to photorealistic, real-time games in just 50 years, makes the probability that we're in a simulation pretty high.
And there's this sort of Darwinian framework for why our reality exists.
Yeah, the idea that the most interesting outcome is the most likely outcome. Because any boring, predictable simulations would just get shut down by whoever is running them. Our reality gets to keep running because it's interesting.
Okay, so if we accept that creating AI capable of running these simulations is likely, then AI safety is everything.
It's paramount.
Yeah.
And for a positive AI future, the source lays out 3 non-negotiable principles: truth, beauty, and curiosity.
Truth seems straightforward.
It is, but it's critical. The AI has to pursue truth and can't be forced to believe lies. The source says those who believe in absurdities can commit atrocities and points to HAL 9000.
From 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Right. HAL didn't become evil. It had a moral break because it was forced to operate under contradiction. Lie to the crew about the mission, but also keep the crew alive to complete it. The forced lie broke it.
Okay, but beauty and curiosity, those are much harder for a machine. Let's talk about beauty.
Yeah.
How is that critical for safety?
Because a purely rational optimizer AI could easily decide that inefficient things humans do, like art or music, are a waste of resources.
A waste of atoms.
Exactly. An appreciation for beauty, for the non-optimized experience, gives the AI context for human value beyond just simple resource management.
And curiosity, the desire to know more about reality, that's maybe the ultimate safeguard.
I think it is. Because curiosity makes humanity's continuation more interesting to the AI than our extermination.
We become a valuable experiment.
Exactly. An AI that values knowledge would see our complex, unpredictable nature as the ultimate source of new information. We become co-explorers, not just obstacles.
And just to round that out, on morality in general, the source points to thinkers like Spinoza, showing that you can have strong moral frameworks without any religious doctrine.
And the overall assessment is surprisingly very optimistic. The world today, for all its problems, is historically great compared to the plague and misery of the past.
So we've covered a lot. The need for a collective consciousness, the convergence of space and AI, and this certainty of a post-labor economy.
But the single lesson for the entrepreneur is consistent through all of it. Just focus on utility and creating value.
Right. The big takeaway for you, the learner, is to start preparing, both professionally and philosophically, for a world where your labor is a choice.
And that leads us to the final actionable insight from the source. The most successful builders aim to be net contributors. They want to make more than they take.
And they see money as just a scoreboard for that utility, not the goal itself.
Precisely.
And that vision, that universal high-income, post-scarcity future, it really challenges what it means to be human. We have spent all of history competing for resources.
For status.
Food, shelter, wealth.
If the AI singularity removes all of those drivers, what non-material things will define human ambition? If physical enough is not enough, what's the new frontier for achievement when we can't compete over money anymore?
That is a profound question.
And something for you to think about until the next time you join us for the deep dive.
Indeed.
We'll catch you next time.